Hello everyone, and welcome to Slickwire Stead for the Halloween episode in October. I know it's a day late, but I had to make it happen on Halloween. Please stay and enjoy the story of the Shadowman of Sleepy Creek, Kansas. Sleepy Creek, Kansas. A name that once conjured images of swaying wheat fields and fireflies winking in the twilight. This small town, nestled in the heartland of America, was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the hustle and bustle of modern life felt like a distant echo. The golden fields stretched as far as the eye could see, a testament to the hard work and dedication of the farmers who called this place home, a place where children chased lightning bugs under a sky bursting with stars. The night sky in Sleepy Creek was a canvas of twinkling lights, each star a silent witness to the dreams and hopes of the town's inhabitants. The children, with their jars in hand, would run through the fields, their laughter mingling with the soft hum of the night. It was a time of innocence, where the simple joys of life were cherished and celebrated. A town where folks left their doors unlocked, trust woven into the very fabric of their lives. Neighbors knew each other by name, and there was a sense of community that bound everyone together. The streets were lined with charming houses, each one a testament to the town's rich history and the generations of families who had lived there. People walked casually, greeting each other with warm smiles and friendly waves. The air held the sweet scent of freshly baked pies, and the laughter of children echoed through the streets. The town's bakers were renowned for their delicious pies, and the aroma would waft through the air, inviting everyone to partake in the simple pleasure of a homemade treat. Children played games in the streets, their laughter a constant reminder of the joy and innocence that defined Sleepy Creek. It was a town where life was simple, and the passing of time was marked by the changing seasons. Each season brought its own unique beauty and charm to Sleepy Creek. Spring was a time of renewal, with flowers blooming and the promise of new beginnings. Summer was filled with long, lazy days and the warmth of the sun. Autumn painted the town in hues of red and gold, and winter wrapped it in a blanket of snow, creating a picturesque scene straight out of a storybook. The heart of Sleepy Creek was its people. They were a close-knit community, always ready to lend a helping hand or share a kind word. The town square was a hub of activity, where people gathered to catch up on the latest news, share stories, and celebrate life's milestones. It was a place where everyone felt like family, and the bonds of friendship ran deep. Hard-working farmers, their hands calloused but hearts warm. These men and women were the backbone of Sleepy Creek, toiling from dawn till dusk to provide for their families and ensure the town's prosperity. Their hands, though rough and weathered, were a testament to their dedication and resilience. They worked the land with a deep sense of pride and a commitment to preserving the town's agricultural heritage. Teachers who instilled knowledge and kindness in equal measure. The one-room schoolhouse was a place of learning and growth, where children were taught not just academics, but also the values of respect, compassion, and community. The teachers were more than just educators. They were mentors and role models, guiding the young minds of Sleepy Creek with patience and care. Families who gathered on porches, sharing stories under the watchful gaze of the moon. Evenings in Sleepy Creek were a time for family and reflection. As the sun set and the moon rose, families would gather on their porches, sharing stories and creating memories. The full moon cast a gentle glow over the town, illuminating the bonds that held the community together. Life was a tapestry woven with the threads of community, shared dreams, and the comforting rhythm of everyday existence. The people of Sleepy Creek found joy in the simple things, whether it was a community gathering, a shared meal, or a heartfelt conversation. Their lives were intertwined, each thread contributing to the rich and vibrant tapestry that defined the town. But that was before the year 1956, a year that would forever change the course of Sleepy Creek's history. It was a time of uncertainty and fear, as the town faced challenges that threatened to unravel the very fabric of its existence. Before the shadows grew long and the nights turned cold, the once warm and inviting streets of Sleepy Creek became shrouded in darkness, as a sense of foreboding settled over the town. The laughter of children was replaced by whispers of fear, and the air grew heavy with a sense of impending doom. Before the name Sleepy Creek became synonymous with fear, whispered in hushed tones as a warning, the town's name, once a symbol of peace and tranquility, now carried a weight of dread. People spoke of it in whispers, their voices tinged with fear and uncertainty. The sense of community that had once defined Sleepy Creek began to fray as suspicion and mistrust took hold. A chilling reminder of the night evil cast its long shadow upon the town. That fateful night in 1956, when darkness descended upon Sleepy Creek, would be etched into the town's collective memory forever. It was a night that shattered the peace and innocence of the town, leaving behind a legacy of fear and sorrow. The once vibrant and close-knit community was left to grapple with the aftermath as they tried to rebuild and reclaim the sense of safety and trust that had been lost. Halloween night, 1956. The air was electric with anticipation, a night where the veil between the ordinary and the extraordinary seemed to thin. A crisp chill hung in the air, the remnants of summer clinging desperately to the changing leaves. The trees, now adorned in hues of amber and crimson, whispered secrets to the wind. Children, their faces painted with ghoulish delight, darted from house to house, their laughter echoing through the deepening twilight. Each door they knocked on opened to reveal a new world of wonder and fright, a treasure trove of sweets and treats. Pumpkin lanterns, their carved grins illuminated from within, cast flickering shadows that danced to the rhythm of the wind. The glow from the candles inside them seemed almost alive, as if the spirits of Halloween had taken residence within. The air was thick with the aroma of cinnamon and wood smoke, the comforting scents of autumn. It was a time for warm drinks and cozy fires, a season that wrapped itself around you like a comforting blanket. But beneath the surface of merriment, a subtle unease began to stir. It was a feeling that crept up on you, like a shadow you couldn't quite shake off. The shadow seemed to lengthen, stretching out like grasping claws from the darkened corners of the town. They moved with a life of their own, twisting and turning in ways that defied the light. The wind, once a playful whisper, took on a sharper edge, carrying with it a coldness that chilled more than just the skin. It was as if the very air had turned against the town, a harbinger of something ominous. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, casting an eerie glow upon the town below, the first whispers of fear began to ripple through the crowds. The moonlight seemed to reveal things that were better left unseen, casting long, eerie shadows that played tricks on the mind. A figure had been spotted at the edge of town, a tall, shadowy form that seemed to melt into the darkness whenever anyone drew near. It was a presence that felt both ancient and malevolent, a specter that had no place in the world of the living. Some dismissed it as a trick of the light, a figment of overactive imaginations fueled by spooky tales and too much candy. They laughed it off, trying to shake the feeling of dread that clung to them like a second skin. But deep down, a primal fear began to take root. It was a fear that spoke to the most ancient parts of the human soul, a fear of the unknown, of the things that lurked just beyond the edge of the light. As the clock struck midnight, the atmosphere grew even more tense. The chimes echoed through the empty streets, each one a reminder that time was slipping away, that something was coming. A thick fog began to roll in, enveloping the town in a shroud of mist. It moved like a living thing, curling around buildings and creeping along the ground, obscuring everything in its path. People huddled together, their voices hushed and nervous. They whispered about the figure at the edge of town, about the shadows that seemed to move on their own. The sense of unease was palpable, a living, breathing thing that wrapped itself around the town. Even the children, who had been so full of laughter and excitement, now clutched their toys and candy bags a little tighter. Their wide eyes reflected the fear that had taken hold of the town, a fear that they couldn't quite understand, but felt all the same. At the edge of town, where the figure had been seen, stood an old, creaky house. Its windows were dark and foreboding. Its walls seemed to whisper secrets to the night. It was a place that everyone avoided, a place that seemed to hold the very essence of fear. Inside one of the homes, a candle flickered and then went out, plunging the room into darkness. The sudden loss of light was like a physical blow, a reminder of how fragile the barrier between light and dark truly was. People peered out their windows, trying to see through the fog. They searched for any sign of the figure, any hint of what was causing the unease that had settled over the town, but the fog was too thick, the night too dark. One by one, they drew their curtains shut, trying to block out the night. But even behind closed doors, the feeling of being watched, of being hunted, persisted. It was a night that seemed to stretch on forever, a night where the shadows truly came to life. Time seemed to drag on, each tick of the clock a reminder of the creeping dread that had taken hold. The night was filled with the sounds of creaking floors and rustling leaves, each noise amplified by the silence that had fallen over the town. In one home, a child drew a picture of the shadowy figure they had seen. The drawing was eerie and unsettling, a crude representation of the fear that had gripped the town. It was a reminder that even the youngest among them could sense the danger that lurked in the shadows. Small groups of people gathered, discussing in hushed tones what they had seen and felt. They shared stories of strange occurrences, of shadows that moved on their own, of a figure that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Someone lit a lantern, its warm glow a small comfort in the oppressive darkness. The light flickered and danced, casting long shadows that seemed to move with a life of their own. It was a fragile barrier against the encroaching night, a small beacon of hope in a sea of fear. Despite the fear, there was a sense of determination. The people of the town were resolute, unwilling to let the shadows take over. They would face whatever was coming, together, as a community. As dawn began to break, the first light of morning chased away the shadows. The fog lifted, revealing a town that had faced its fears but did not come out the other side. The figure at the edge of town was gone for now, leaving behind only the bodies of the brave souls who perished, fighting the shadows that Halloween night. People emerged from their homes, their faces filled with sadness and dismay. They had faced the darkness and survived, full of guilt. With the light of day, they could begin to evacuate. The night of fear was over for now, but the memory of it would linger, a reminder that beasts hide in the dark. A child cried into the morning light, the fear of the night never to be forgotten. The town had faced its darkest hour, and come through it dwindled, frightened by the shared experience of a night when shadows came to life. The town, now bathing in a warm glow, hiding mystery and horror from the rest of the world. Heed this warning. Never visit Sleepy Creek, Kansas. Thank you all for watching. Please tune in next week as I resume normal content every week. Thanks for watching.